Hey, start off, Clayton Adams. Obviously, some of y'all saw he took a job at Stanford as O-line coach. Congratulations to him. Talked to him a couple days ago, and excited for that opportunity for he and his family going back close to home. So obviously, we will miss him here. Enjoyed working with him, but he's on to those things. So Mawai is going to take over those duties, and then Reggie's going to help on the route concepts and that, so kind of a group effort. But Mawai will take over the tight ends for now, and then obviously just getting back to Minnesota, getting on the field today for the first time, and excited to get out there on the grass and start cutting loose a little bit.
Jeff, you talked about how you guys were kind of short-staffed offensively. You had to step in there. So how does this kind of add to that or change it?
Yeah, we're just adding to it, right? Asking more guys or fewer guys to do more. We've kind of assigned the duties that Clayton had. We've kind of split those up amongst the group. Everybody's kind of taking a little more of a share of that. But again, it's just one of those things when you have staff change the way we've had throughout the season. This kind of lends towards it, and so we'll spread it. It won't go to one guy. We kind of spread it out a little bit, and we'll be fine. Just a little bit longer hours here, but we'll get it all squared away.
Jeff, I know you said after the Dallas game was kind of gut check time.
Yeah.
Really, the 4 games left to go. What is your challenge to these guys? These 4 games left to go with this team.
Yeah, we talked about the focus obviously after the bye week, and don't be denied what you should be doing, right? And that means go take advantage of all the matchups that you have. And so I've challenged each guy individually. Just talked about where we need to be, what we need to see from each guy in particular, and the progress we want to see being made. And again, we've made some progress. Obviously, the Dallas game is the last one we had. That's an awful taste in your mouth the way we finished that game. But we have to continue to get better in certain areas, and everybody has a job they have to go get better at. But job one is beating Minnesota, and you got a 4-game season. And when I look at this, we're very capable of winning all 4. But you got to start in Minnesota, right? And they got a lot to play for, playing for a division at their place, getting beat by Detroit. Like I said, nobody feels sorry for you in this league. They're gonna come at you, full tilt. And so expect their best, and then go show them what your best looks like.
Jeff, last season, JT, Jonathan Taylor, I think the trademark was his big runs, his big plays. And he's had some this year, but not quite as many.
Right.
From your playing experience and from what you've seen, what's the difference between a play coming up a little short and maybe being one of those long plays?
No, that's a great question. Obviously from the success he's had, defenses play you a little bit different, right? And we haven't been proficient pushing the ball down the field, taking shots, which means safeties and corners play closer to the line of scrimmage. They can insert better, and so without having that outside kind of pressure that you're putting on guys, it makes it more difficult for those explosive runs. So it all kind of fits together, and so from JT's perspective of him taking advantage when he does get those one-on-ones at the second level and making guys miss, but from the entire offense, we have to be better. I think the receivers do a heck of a job here of getting in, blocking. They're full participants, right, which I respect the heck out of. But again, it's tough when you're getting 10 guys or 11 guys down close to the line of scrimmage for those explosive runs. And until we get people off by making guys miss or making explosive plays with our outside guys, it's going to be tough sledding for JT.
Jeff, how do you never had a season, well, you didn't have a lot of seasons like this.
Yeah.
How do you fight the human nature instinct that is guys thinking about the offseason? And I know they're pros and it's their job to show up and win, but it's hard to probably fight that in some sense.
No, it's fair. Absolutely. I mean, you hear about people packing up, weeks in advance, right? This is the first team that's had people, vacation plans, the whole deal. And just, trying to emphasize the point of you win these 4. This is an 8-1 football team, right? And how much, what this looks like from a player perspective and what you've overcome and all the different challenges, whether it be staff changes, guys leaving, injuries, whatever it is. But as you look at this, you have to find ways to motivate yourself to be the best player you can be. And again, you would like to think that because your team hasn't played as well that people don't pay attention. That's just not the NFL, right? That jersey number and that name on the back, it's always on film. And so whatever you're showing, that's what people believe about you. And so you try to motivate guys that way as well. But you're 100% right. Exactly. When you look at it, there's a lot of people who shut it down midway through seasons, three-quarter way through seasons, and that's my challenge as a coach, is to make sure we don't do that, we don't slip, and that we finish strong.
Jeff, a little more than a month into it now, how would you compare this past month to what maybe you thought you were walking into, just job-wise, workload?
I'll be honest with you, as expected. Like, I think, I looked at this. I knew this was going to be a challenge. Anytime you're coming in halfway through a season, there's nothing pretty about what's happening. And I don't just mean because of what happened with Frank, but just what goes on in the locker room with the coaching staff. To Zach's point, like just life, right, of what it looks like. So I knew kind of the challenges it would be. I'm disappointed we haven't finished some games better, right? Like I felt in Philly, we let one get away. Pittsburgh, we didn't play well enough, and then obviously Dallas, where it's a 2-point game, and we, end up getting the doors blown off of us. So as I look at that, I'm pretty realistic about making improvements, but that's not good enough in my estimation, right? Like I want to be able to finish stronger and put guys in positions, and we're in positions to make plays. We got to make them, right? I mean, at some point, this is about we have to go make the plays that we're capable of making, and that's what I've tried to fuel the guys. But I'm disappointed, definitely not discouraged, right? I mean, when I look at this football team and this staff, I think we're making progress in areas. I think we're getting better in areas, and so from my viewpoint, I had to look at it and keep it in perspective of what it looks like. I didn't think I would come in and win every game. I mean, I would love to say that, but that's probably not realistic when you looked at this thing. And so we're going to continue to battle. We're going to continue to get better in those areas, but that's the focus, is each person, each individual, coach, player, everybody, they got to take this on themselves. Let's finish this thing out right.
On that note, you said
Have your thoughts changed at all about wanting to do this long term?
No, I'm not wavering, man. I've loved it. Like I said, I've had a great time. I know I'm the most popular guy in the room right now, right? I mean, this has been fantastic. It's crazy for me because I've went from being in the media to not paying any attention purposely, right? Because I know, I mean, I'm sure not everything written about us or me is positive. I'm good with that. I knew kind of what I was signing up for, but man, I've loved this. I've had a great time. I love the unity in the locker room. I love the staff and working with guys and the strategy that goes in with this. And so, again, this has been a lot of fun. Again, W's make things a lot more fun, but that's where we got to get to.
so you want to coach next year.
Sure, yeah.
You're going to plan on interviewing for this
Absolutely.
job.
Yeah. I plan on interviewing as long as they, give me the interview. I'm in. Yeah. Hopefully. But yeah, no. I enjoy the heck out of this and have had a lot of fun doing it. And again, I'm not discouraged at all. I know I have a vision of what this could look like in the future. Plan to work that way, and that's what I do every day, is work towards that goal, understanding what that looks like.
Jeff, Stephon Gilmore obviously had a pretty great season.
Yeah.
Can you maybe, from your perspective, what is it like to see someone at that age kind of just sustain or maybe regain some form that others might have thought he lost?
Yeah, no, Gilly's a pro, man. Hey, listen, I love the way he goes about his business, and he's a pretty quiet guy, so he's not going to make a lot of noise about the plays he's making. But there's not a guy that you would want in the crunch time of having to make a play. Man, he's never overwhelmed by the moment. He never gets outside himself. Even if somebody makes a play on him, you'll see him. He's a very calm guy. Next play, move on, and you got to have that as a corner in this league, especially one that you're probably going to match up with their best. Is guys are going to make plays in this game, right? It's offenses. We have the advantage, right? So they're gonna try to make some plays. But man, he is a pro's pro. I've loved coaching with him, talking with him, spending time with him. Man, he's a gem, and I'm truly appreciative of having him.
How special is Justin Jefferson? I guess kind of piggybacking off of that. I don't know how much you're gonna shadow him or whatever.
Right.
But how much does it help to have a guy like Gilmore when you're facing a guy like Justin Jefferson?
No, absolutely. And listen, give Minnesota a ton of credit. They don't leave him. They move that dude around. Like he ain't gonna line up in a spot, right? He's all over the field. So there's not this is not a, hey, you got to travel. It's not that kind of day. But like you said, having Gilly match up whatever his role is, making sure that, hey, we understand whatever our role is, and that guy should be taken out of the play. And so you have to go match up other places, but making sure that you do your job and your role. I think that's equally as important. It never goes, we never talk about it, but that's true, is that when you take something else away and you force a ball maybe to go somewhere, you're still doing your job. And that's kind of what I depend on for what Gilly does.